Hey guys, Bubba here with the Bubba News. All in one word, all in one news. How are you guys doing tonight? Did you guys get your taxes done? Did you get them done? Asking for a friend. Seeing how you guys are doing tonight. Yeah, we're just going to call this one All Eyes on Iran. And that's what we'll be talking about. And first, I just want to give everyone an update on, excuse me, Mrs. Bubba, because I was asking for prayers for her because she has hurt her shoulder. She fell, and the pain's gotten really bad in the past 3 weeks. And took her to the emergency room today, and got her in there. Got her some lidocaine patches, that kind of stuff. Some Toradol medicines that we have to pick up tomorrow. But they did X-rays, nothing broken. But they've got to go in and do MRI, I guess, here in the next few days at the orthopedic center. So we'll find out what's going on there. But guys, I do ask for your prayers. You know, all eyes are on Iran, and we're going to get there in a second. But this is a verse I started off today with, because we know that God does not hear sinners. But if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears them. You know, we know in James 5:16 that the effective or active prayers of a righteous man availeth much, or can accomplish much. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for your prayers, because we're going to find out what's going on with Mrs. Bubba, with everything going on. But like I said last night, guys, it's like everyone's under some kind of attack, whether it's physical, like my wife, financial, spiritual, emotional. This is getting crazy. And with everything going on with basically the Prince of Persia with Iran, this is nuts. And it's ramping up. You know, last night, a clear message was sent to Iran by the United States as the Air Force Chief of Staff posted a video showing both components of the United States Air Force's nuclear triad, including land-based ballistic missiles and long-range strategic bombs, with the captions, "If deterrence fails, we won't." TikTok Iran, what needs to be done will be done. So as you can see, it is really starting to ramp up. I mean, it is getting crazy town out there. Now we're going to keep going with Iran, because today the IAEA, that's the International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Grossi, he met with the Iranian foreign minister in Tehran today. So this is basically the United Nations nuclear watchdog chief, dude, right there on the left. Rafael Grossi, you can see how happy he is on the left. Isn't he just so happy? But he warned today that Iran was not far off from possessing a nuclear bomb shortly before he arrived in Tehran for the quote-unquote talks. Hours before his visit, the Director General of the IAEA warned that Iran has all the necessary components for a bomb. And in his view, the question is not if, but when they will be able to put them together, quote unquote. Iran has the theoretical and practical knowledge. We learned this from the nuclear archive. This is my words, not this guy's. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Iran requires a process to enrich uranium that's then converted into a metal sphere. It's the bomb's core. But Iran needs further experiments on the placement of the nuclear explosive, supposedly, because Iran does have a delivery vehicle. These hypersonic rockets, missiles are insane. Getting from Tehran to Tel Aviv in 400 seconds, 6.66 minutes. So they have the capability of launching the warhead. It's just a matter of time. But Grossi's visit there on the left comes as Iran has restricted the IAEA access of all things. Since the nuclear deals collapsed in 2018 with Trump, when Trump withdrew from the JCPOA accord, Iran has abandoned all limits on its program and enriches uranium up to 60% purity near weapons grade levels of 90% that we've heard about for years. But now they're really on, they're right there. I mean, even surveillance cameras that have been installed by the IAEA have been disabled or removed. And Iran has barred some of the Vienna-based agencies' most experienced inspectors to pay visits and check on the nuclear program. The Iranian officials have also increasingly threatened that they would pursue atomic weapons. And this is something the West and the IAEA have been worried about for years, since Tehran abandoned an organized weapons program in 2003. So any possible deal between Iran and the U.S. will likely need to rely on the IAEA's expertise to ensure Tehran's compliance. And I said, yeah, right. We know how that works. I mean, there are areas in Iran's nuclear program that are off limits to these to the inspectors. So far, the agency's access to Iran has not been entirely revoked. I mean, at least not yet. But this came out earlier today. The Ayatollah Khomeini, he shared this, and it says, "Why must the Zionist regime be eliminated from the region?" In a speech on March 31, 2025, Khomeini described the effort to eliminate the Zionist regime from the region as a religious human duty. This infographic examines the reasons why these efforts must be considered a duty, is exactly what it says up here in the upper part. There at the very tippy top. You know, all of this is happening calling for the destruction of Israel, while Israel and the United States basically are trying to get a nuclear deal done with Iran. You know, with threats like this, Israel and Netanyahu are just waiting to hit Iran first, before Iran even thinks about launching nukes towards Israel. And Netanyahu did not take kindly to this infographic either that was put out by Iran. I mean, you might want to take a screenshot and see, but I mean, it's just nuts. It's just truly nuts what they want to do. But Netanyahu, he didn't like it. So he Netanyahu takes it to the world. Here we go.
Today, the dictator of Iran, the Ayatollah Khamenei, posted this. The title is, "Why must the Zionist regime," that's Israel, "be eliminated from the region?" So here you have the ruler of Iran openly declaring, again, that his goal is to destroy the state of Israel. And the most brazen thing about this is that he issues this while he's supposedly negotiating peace with the United States. Well, Israel will not be eliminated. What must be eliminated is Iran's axis of terror and its nuclear weapons program. Not only for the sake of Israel, but for the sake of our entire region and for the sake of peace in our world.
For the sake of peace in our world. It's just a matter of time before the attack on Elam. Oh, you know, but these talks with Iran, this is big because, oh goodness, check this out. Meanwhile, the Saudi Arabian defense minister, he's set to arrive in Iran. He's set to arrive in Tehran tomorrow, April 17th. This is the highest level Saudi official visit since restoring diplomatic ties back in 2023. You know, important meetings are being planned with Iran's top military and political officials. With this guy, with the Saudi defense minister. Before the Israel and the USA attack on Iran, Saudi Arabia wants to ensure that Iran won't consider them as being part of this attack. Because a bunch of these countries that host the United States forces say that they will not allow their bases to be used in this attack, or even their airspace. So it's starting to ramp up. But, you know, for Saudi Arabia to send its defense minister, that's huge. This is not a trade envoy. This is not a cultural attaché being sent to Tehran where they're going to share cookie recipes. This isn't just about diplomacy. It's deterrence with a smile. It says, we're talking, but we're also counting your missiles. Riyadh and Tehran are not becoming allies. They're just managing each other like rival CEOs that are forced into a joint venture by market pressure, and both sides are playing chess across the Gulf. So we've got this guy that's getting ready to visit with Iran tomorrow, the Saudi defense minister. But now Iran's foreign minister is set to travel to Russia before the nuclear peace talks this weekend between the USA and Iran. The purpose of the trip is delivering a secret written message by Ayatollah Khamenei to President Putin directly. So the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, "My goal in traveling to Moscow is to convey a message from the supreme leader of the revolution, Khamenei, to President Putin." The second round of the United States and the Iranian negotiations are set to be held in Rome once again. The Oman story was not confirmed, so now they're sticking back to Rome on Saturday. But the Iranian Foreign Minister, Abbas al-Raqi, he said reviving the 2015 JCPOA agreement is not possible. So these talks are not going to go well. We all know this. We all know the war's coming. But I wonder if the secret message being relayed by Iran to Putin is the announcement that they're getting ready to start to launch Iran's True Promise 3 attack on Israel. Because Iran might want to get the first punch and the upper hand with launching an attack first. And tonight, this story came out for a reason. Whether or not it's true is another story, but this came out by the New York Times tonight. And they said that Israel had planned to strike the Iranian nuclear sites as soon as next month in May, but was waved off by President Trump in recent weeks in favor of Trump negotiating a deal with Tehran to limit its nuclear program. Israeli officials had recently developed plans to attack Iranian nuclear sites in May. But it says almost all of the plans would have required U.S. help, not just to defend Israel from Iranian retaliation, but also to ensure that an Israeli attack is 100% successful, making the United States a central part of the attack itself. But given the intensity of Iran and what they are doing, Israel can't wait much longer, because sooner or later, Iran is going to field a nuclear weapon. And that means have a nuclear weapon ready on a rocket with the warhead, fielding it, getting it ready, having it on the launcher, getting ready to go. Israel can't have this. God won't allow it either, we know, in Jeremiah 49, verses 34 to 37. But guys, all eyes are on Iran. This is going to get crazy because this is still ramping up. I was talking to a buddy tonight, Art Martin, down there in Texas, A Martin TX 777. You guys will see him in chat. And he was asking me if I think this is going to happen here in the next few days or this weekend, or like a surprise attack. And that this is just Israel's putting out this information through the New York Times to make Iran thinks that it's not coming until May. And I told him, I don't think so. I think this is actually, we still have a couple weeks left because, which one was it? The Gerald Ford, I believe, just took off. The third aircraft carrier just left the East Coast. I thought I was seeing that last night. And it's heading towards the Mediterranean, across the Atlantic to, I don't know, it'll get really interesting because if we have a third aircraft carrier strike group, and if it may replace the Truman there outside of Yemen once it gets into the Red Sea via the Suez Canal. But, I don't know if this is going to kick off first. I mean, that's the big debate. Which one of these wars are going to kick off? Which one of these prophecies is going to be the one to set the dominoes into effect? We've still got to keep our eyes on the Hezbollah with the North. With Lebanon. We've got to keep our eyes on Syria because there's talk, too, that as the U.S. forces have been pulling out of eastern Syria there, of Deir ez-Zor, they're moving out in the middle of the night. Logistical stuff, heavy machinery, that kind of stuff. So I'll have to keep an eye on that because there's, we could start seeing all the Syrian factions starting to unite together. And something's going to kick it off, too, against Israel, and they're going to need to want to attack to get this Psalm 83 war officially going, verses 6 through 8, with all the 10 players of the people groups that surround Israel. But you know what? Something could happen with Sidon, with Hezbollah. Something could kick off with Damascus, for all we know. It's hard to, but also I'm watching this whole thing with Gaza because I showed you guys that last night. But Israel's taken over 1/3 of Gaza now. On paper, by their evacuations and inaccessible areas, Israel basically is taking control of 65% of Gaza. So this is going to start heating up. And we're going to start hearing, I believe, the humanitarian aid that is not getting into Gaza. And they're going to start rising up against Israel to get food to the people. Israel estimates that they still have a few more weeks left minimum into May of supplies. But we're going to start seeing probably these Hamas people rising up. It'll be interesting. But down there in Rafah, towards the Egyptian border, it is becoming just everything bulldozed. Buildings are being bulldozed and taken over. And Rafah down in the south is just, it's horrible. Just looking at the buildings, it makes Ukraine look like a church picnic. I mean, it's just insane. But guys, this stuff is coming up. All eyes are on Iran. Oh my goodness gracious. I think I've already done a video that says all eyes on Iran, but I kind of want to stick to it once again because it's almost that intense. Maybe I'll call this All Eyes on Iran Update, or maybe I'll just call it Israel-Iran Tensions or something like that, because everything is building up, and it feels like I don't know. It just feels like this kettle's getting ready to blow. I know one thing. We're about ready to blow out of here. We're that close. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your prayers. God is in control of each one of us. We each have a mission for the Lord Jesus Christ in these final days. We each have a ministry, one way or another, for the Lord Jesus Christ in these final days. And I just want to finish strong for the King. I know you guys do too. But guys, we are broken people, and we need the Lord Jesus Christ, and we need his help every single day. But guys, lift up your heads. Your redemption is getting so very near, my brothers and my sisters. So good to hear from you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.